Good evening. Today I am going to present a paper on RTA Act 2005 and my experience with RTA Act 2005 with regard to cybercrime case study. Mahatma Gandhi told, part 1 is Right to Information Act 2005. Mahatma Gandhi told, real Swaraj will come not by the acquisition of authority by a few, but by the acquisition of capacity to resist authority when abused. What information is available with the government? So, government is a vast storehouse of resources, holds the memory of the nation in its archives, and should provide a full portrait of its activities, performance, and future plans. For whom is this information stored? This information is mainly stored for the public, and this information is stored, the expenses are borne through the collections made from the public. Who loses from concealment of information? So citizens who run from pillar to post for legitimate day-to-day services, as the system is not transparent, and citizens who spend speed money because there is no accountability, and citizens citizens versus government where there is no social audit, and citizens who live with outdated practices and procedures as vested interests do not want any change in ongoing system. RTA Act passed on December 23rd, 2004. The UPA government tabled the RTA Act Bill 2004. This bill was passed by Lok Sabha on 11th May 2005 and by Rajya Sabha on 12th May 2005. It received the assent of the President on 15th June 2005. It was published in the Gazette of India on 21st June 2005. It came into force with effect from 12th October 2005. And coming to the coverage, authority or the body or the institution of self-government. So, what is public authority? Public authority is the one established under the Constitution or under a law made by the Parliament or the state legislature, established by the central or state government, owned, controlled or substantially financed directly or indirectly by funds provided by the central or state government. Even NGOs are also covered. And what is information? We know what is information. And coming to the public authority, it has to fulfill its obligations by proactive disclosure according to section 4(1)(b). On the 3-stage regime for accessing information, there are 3 stages. The first one is PIO, Public Information Officer. We can get information for RTA applications from the Public Information Officer, and if the Public Information Officer in case he failed to provide information, we can go for the first appeal. So we call that one as departmental first appeal. DAA stands for departmental first appeal. And in case if we fail with that also, we can go for the second appeal. So it is the officer is termed as Information Commissioner. So based on depending on the center or state, we have CIC and we have SIC. And citizen should can utilize this RTA Act by requesting information by writing on a paper or by putting by typing it in the computer and taking the printout, and means a type written. So that way we can do. And tips when framing questions. So there are some tips. Information must exist. RTA cannot directly get you a decision. So instead, ask the progress of your file or the norms for disposal of work. And here the thing is, if you directly apply for RTA information to the PIO, he has to provide information within 30 days. In case if the PIO is appointing APIOs, if your application reaches APIO, he has to simply forward it to PIO. So therefore, the maximum time period for getting your information is 30 plus 5 days, 35 days. And in case if you send your RTA application requesting information related to one public authority, but if that is not the concerned public authority, that public authority can send your RT application to the concerned public authority. So again here also 30 plus 5, 35 days. It will take maximum of 35 days to get you response. And time limit for supply of information and appeal. For normal RT application, the maximum time is 30 days. In case if the application to PIO concerns life and liberty of a person, the information should be provided within 48 hours. And appeal to departmental appellate authority arising out of decision of PIO, it is within 30 days of the receipt of decision from PIO. And appeal to CIC or SIC within 30, we have to, the time limit is we have to apply within 90 days. We can get information within 90 days from the date of decision of the appellate authority. So fees chargeable from applicants. Application fee to accompany the application is 10 rupees and cost of giving information 2 rupees per page. And actual charge or cost price of a copy in large size paper. Actual cost or price for samples or models 50 rupees for floppy or CD. Cost of publication fixed by the organization where a copy of the publication is supplied. For inspection of records, we have to pay. No need to pay for fee for the first hour, and for next hour onwards, we need to pay 5 rupees for each subsequent hour or fraction thereof. Appeal to departmental appellate authority. As I said earlier, if you did not get information from the PIO, we can go for first appeal. So you need to send your the first appeal letter to the DAA, and that also fails. We need to go for the sending our second appeal to IC. RTA, the weapon of the common man. It is the common man's Brahmastra, and it can convert our purely electoral democracy into a true participatory democracy. In case we do not make use of the good use of the RTA Act, we will have to admit that. And the second part is my RTA requests, appeals and responses to or from PAOs or DAAs. So this is the table showing the RTA requests made, RTA responses received, and in case if the RTA response is not received, whether appeal is sent to the second appeal, first appeal authority, appellate authority, like that. Coming to the first my RTA application is made to the governor, and these are the questions asked, and for these questions the governor for the RTA response from governor secretariat is like this. So they said your requests are unintelligible, therefore I thought I did not get proper information, therefore I went for the first appeal. So where the appeal is made to the principal secretary to governor, and I got the response from that authority, appellate authority, departmental appellate authority, and the response is like this. So mainly the important things in this RTA response to my appeal are like this. The request for information is required to be specific. That is one comment given by them, and the RTA Act does not cast on the public authority any obligation to answer queries, especially such type of self-styled tricky questions. And we need to seek information as defined in section 2FF of the Act, either by pinpointing the file, document, paper or record, etc., or by mentioning the type of information as may be available within the specified public authority. So this is the response given by the DAA, and then the DAA is written. The PAO response is justified here, and also it is disposed of. It is given as disposed of. And second application is my RT application is to the Prime Minister's Office, New Delhi, and these are the questions made, and the response from PMO is like this. So actually he said the information sought by you is not clear, and therefore he also provided some links to file a complaint or grievance petition, and that is the response given by them. Therefore I thought I did not get proper response from department of from the PIO. Therefore I need to go for the first appeal. And this is third application to the AP Secretariat, and these are the questions made, and the response from the AP Secretariat is they forwarded the letter to two different departments. One is EFS and T department, and another is ITE and C department. So when the letter is forwarded to EFS and T department, they gave the response. So this is the response I got from EFS and T department. They said no funds allotted to FGOT and PGOT from 2011 to till date from the Environment, Forest, Science and Technology Department, AP Secretariat. This is the response I got from that. And RTA application to UGC, New Delhi. These are the questions. And the response is like this. So UGC has no information about FGOT. They said no information about FGOT. Therefore, we have the above. There is no question of releasing any funds to FGOT. And in the third one, they said funds are generally are allotted under section 12B of the UGC Act. At present, 11 universities from Telangana state are covered under section 12B of the UGC Act and are eligible to receive central assistance including UGC. The list of university under section is available in the UGC website www.ugc.ac.in. And for the fourth question, information in the regard would be provided by the FD Bureau of UGC. And for fifth, no information is available in the of 1 and 2 above. And from the this is the response from the FD Bureau of UGC, and they gave answer for fourth question. They said UGC release grant to those universities which are covered under 12B of UGC Act 1956, and they gave some comments also, the public authority is not supposed to create information on to solve the problems raised by the applicants or to furnish replies to hypothetical questions. Only such information can be had under the Act which already exists with the public authority. So, you may please note that we have no more information to share with you in this regard. That is the response we got from UGC. Actually, this is the response to my first appeal. I did not get response for the first RTA application, therefore I went for the first appeal. Then they responded like this. And fifth application is to Department of Science and Technology, New Delhi. These are the questions made, and they gave a response like this. Point 1 and 2, which is FGOT not known. However, no funds under ICPS program have been sanctioned or released to Government of Telangana. And for points 3 and 4 in view of the above is nil. And sixth application is made to Rajya Sabha. These are the questions put, and this is the response for my RTA application. They said there is so far as the Secretariat is concerned, the information desired may be treated as nil. That is the response I got. Therefore, I went for the second appeal. And in the second appeal, they mentioned the something like something similar to the response for my my request to PIO. And again, they said it is observed that as far as Secretariat is concerned, the information sought by the applicant is nil. So, therefore, the CPIO's reply is therefore in order. And seventh application is made to Telangana State Public Service Commission. These are the questions put, and we got information like this. In this regard, it is to inform that to the applicant that TSPSC did not include in its syllabus the concept of cybercrime in any of its recruitments as on till today. This is the information I got from this public authority. And coming to the conclusions, I have taken a cybercrime case study and the cybercrime case study needs some solutions. So my solution, I suggested one solution where this RT Act can be utilized together with information technology in order to get the right information. Our objective is to get right information in order to bring or sustain well-informed society. So therefore we related RTI, Right to Information Act 2005, and information technology and the right information. This is how we related these three, and we conducted I conducted my research. And coming to the conclusions, we wanted to get clear and a written declaration from the concerned public authority that they are not associated with the FGOT organization, which is a cyber criminal organization. We wanted to communicate to the public authorities using written communication as part of our awareness activities. We are expecting earnestly that the public authorities will initiate the activities to defuse FGOT. And I want to go for the first appeal with regard to the RT application sent to the PMO. And the response from these different public authorities, generally we concluded these kind of cybercrime incidents are not desirable for any nation or the society. They destroy the national spirit and pave way for more cybercrimes if the related cybercriminals are left unpunished. Therefore, we sensitize and insist the cyber police to pass orders to prohibit the JTH, JAC and FGOT cybercriminal organizations and honestly work for conviction of these cybercriminals related to this cybercrime case. Thank you.